News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Erica Herskowitz. The 3-month conflict could be nearing a resolution. Sources tell Bloomberg the U.S. and Iran have reached an agreement on a 60-day memorandum of understanding that would lead to negotiations on Iran's nuclear program, but President Trump still needs to sign off. Speaking at a White House press briefing today, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Trump has 3 conditions for a deal.
It's always a mistake to get out ahead of the president, so it is all going to be the president's decision. I think that we can see that the president very clearly stated his 3: the open the strait, highly enriched uranium, no nuclear program.
Are those 3 aspects that you just outlined part of the temporary deal that has been agreed?
That if there can be no deal without those, why would there be a deal without those?
Bloomberg's Jeff Mason with the follow-up question for Bessent. The president has told mediators he wants a couple of days to think about the deal. The UK Guardian reports Pakistan's foreign minister will head to Washington tomorrow to try to speed up negotiations with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Wall Street sent stocks higher today on speculation the U.S. and Iran are close to a diplomatic breakthrough in the war that's rattled global markets. The Dow gained a fraction, up 25 points. The Nasdaq added 243, closing nearly 1% higher. The S&P rose 43 points, up more than 0.5%. The 10-year Treasury yield is at 4.45%. The 2-year Treasury yield at 4.02%. And Brent crude is down slightly to $94 a barrel. We're also getting a sense of the war's impact in the latest economic data. Consumer spending edged up last month by 0.1%, while the Fed's preferred gauge of inflation jumped to 3.8%. Leaving out food and energy, it was 3.3%, still well above the Fed's target. We also got a new round of retail earnings this morning, and the trend seems to be positive. Dollar Tree, Best Buy, and Kohl's all came out with beats. Emily Cohn leads Bloomberg's retail coverage.
Even in the face of economic pressure, consumers are still spending when the price is right. I think it's interesting to look at a store like Dollar Tree. They saw fewer visits, so people are pulling back on how much they go shopping, but then when they go shopping, they're spending more. So they saw their average ticket price was up.
Bloomberg's Emily Cohn. Best Buy closed ahead 15%. Kohl's up 21%. Dollar Tree closed 18% higher. During a conference in Iceland, Fed Reserve Bank of St. Louis President Alberto Musalem cautioned the labor market is stable, inflation is meaningfully above the Fed's 2% target, and long-run inflation expectations are drifting higher.
There is a scenario where inflation remains high. There's no disinflation in the next quarter or two. And in that scenario, the economy will probably require a hike. There's also a scenario where the economy weakens materially in the second half of the year because real incomes are challenged and corporate margins are challenged. In that scenario, inflation could come down. In that scenario, we would be thinking of no hikes, maybe even a cut. So there are 2 scenarios to play with here.
Musalem, a guest on Bloomberg Intelligence, also said policymakers can't depend on a potential productivity boom from artificial intelligence to ease elevated inflation. Dell Technologies gave an outlook for annual sales of about $167 billion, including $60 billion from the sale of AI servers. The company's servers designed to run AI workloads are attracting customers with $24.4 billion in AI orders and $16.1 billion in AI server sales in the quarter that ended May 1st. Costco reported higher than expected profit in the latest quarter, showing the club chain continues to gain ground among cautious U.S. shoppers. We get more from Bloomberg's Matt Piper.
Costco reported earnings surpassing the average of analyst estimates. The warehouse giant has picked up market share in recent years by offering competitive prices, large pack sizes, and a treasure hunt of ever-changing products. Gasoline, which is frequently priced lower at Costco than at competitors, is another advantage as consumers look to cushion a global surge in fuel costs. The upbeat report reinforces that U.S. consumers are still opening their wallets despite a renewed rise in prices and weak sentiment. Matt Piper, Bloomberg Radio.
Anthropic says it raised $65 billion in a funding round that values the artificial intelligence company at $965 billion, including the new investment eclipsing rival OpenAI's value for the first time. Anthropic says the funding came together in a matter of weeks, a sign of strong investor demand for the Claude maker. Major League Baseball owners have proposed a salary cap for the first time since baseball's 1994-95 strike, with a cap of $245.3 million and a salary floor of $171.2 million. The proposal aims to level the playing field and improve competitive balance, but the Players Association has vowed never to accept a salary cap. And tough news from the clay courts at Roland Garros this morning. Top-ranked Jannik is out in the second round of the French Open. He struggled with dizziness in the Paris heat and lost in the fifth set to 56th-ranked Juan Manuel Cerundolo. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Erica Herskowitz, and this is Bloomberg.